Hello and welcome to Unwind Sessions, where right after my shift I give the highlights of my workday and answer any questions that might have been asked at a previous session. My name is Juan. I am an English, Spanish, medical video remote consecutive interpreter with over 4 years of experience. Today is Thursday, March 18, 2021. No, I'm just kidding, guys. I am really I am back today and I am so happy and so glad to be back today. Today is actually Thursday, June 17th, 2021. And right before I get to my highlights, I just want to let you know that I am done with this semester. I aced all of my classes, so woo, yay for me. Of course, I had a nervous breakdown at the end of semester. At the end of the semester, I thought I wasn't gonna finish. Um, and I asked for a lot of days off, and at some point during last week, I knew that I wasn't going to finish unless I had another day off. So I already had too many days off, and I had to ask my supervisor, my manager, my boss. I had to ask him if he could give me another day off, and he did. And I just want to thank you so much. I know you're probably never gonna watch this video, but I want to thank you so much because I don't know, I would have been crying right now because I would have failed one class. And it was a class that I made a mistake on. It was two activities that because of the platform, I got confused, and then I sent the correct activities, but with wrong information. So then I spent like, I had a day off, and then I spent the whole day doing those assignments, and then they told me the next day that it was the wrong information. So I was freaking out. I was like, "Oh, I'm not gonna make it." And then like 1 minute before my shift, my boss told me that yeah, he could give me the day off. So I was like, "Yeah." And I took that day off, and then I just said I'm not gonna be able to do no sessions, because if I do on one sessions, I'm not gonna get through my schoolwork. So yeah, that's why there was a little break there. But luckily, I still had the online sessions from the past, right? So I was still able to give you a little bit of something. I'm running out of those old sessions. I think I only have like two left. So yeah, I mean, that was my whole week. That's why I had not been posting. But now I am back. I am back, and I am relieved that the semester's over. I can get back to my regular life, right? So yeah, let's get to it. Let's get to the highlights today. And the first highlight, and by the way, this is not really about interpreting. It's more about like I would say home office, or being a video remote interpreter, uh, because I was interpreting, right? And I was in a video session, and all of a sudden I saw a mosquito just flying past the camera. And now, as soon as I saw the mosquito, of course, I couldn't take my gaze off of him because I didn't want him to bite me, right? I didn't want no mosquito bites while I'm interpreting. So I'm listening to what the provider is saying, and I'm writing down my notes, and with my eye, and then I'm trying to track where the mosquito is, right? So you got me like, yeah, doctor, I'm paying attention to you. Then I'm looking at the mosquito like just flying everywhere, and I'm just trying to see where he's gonna stop. And all of a sudden, the mosquito just stops on my chest. So as soon as I see him on my chest, I automatically do this. I slap the mosquito, and then when I took my hand away, what do you think the mosquito did? It got stuck to my hand. So I'm thinking this mosquito's dead, but no, he just got off my hand and he flew away. And I haven't seen him since. So I'm thinking he's dead, or he probably doesn't want to mess with me anymore, right? Or I don't know what happened, but I was surprised that he was able to fly away, man. And well, he flew away, and I just didn't pay any attention to him anymore. I could get back to my assignment, my interpreting, and that was that. So I don't know what happened with that mosquito. And this is the first time that's ever happened with a mosquito. I had never had this problem before. But I do remember one time though that I was with a phone session, and all of a sudden from the corner of my eye, I was able to see a spider that was on the ceiling. And of course, I was interpreting, and I saw a big old spider on the ceiling, and I just stopped. I mean, what am I supposed to do, right? There's a big old spider crawling on your ceiling. I mean, my priority was getting that spider out of the ceiling. So what I actually told the provider that time, I was like, oh, I'm sorry, ma'am. There's just a really huge spider on the ceiling. I'm gonna go kill it before I continue with the session. And then she was like, yeah, no problem. You do your thing. So she was very nice, and I went ahead and I killed the spider. Then I came back and I just went on with the session. So yeah, I mean, those are some things that could probably be prevented, right? Um, if you, I don't know, um, I forgot to like if you put pesticides, right? Well, not I don't know if it's pesticides. I'm having brain fart right now, but in Spanish it's fumigar, and I should look that up. But I'm doing a video right now, so I don't think I'll be able to look it up. But anyways, yeah, I'm gonna go with pesticides right now, and yeah, if you're just sprayed for pests, right? You could get rid of that problem, and I have to do that. I really have to do that because summertime is coming up, and mosquitoes are here, and probably spiders and all kinds of creepy crawlers. So I'm probably gonna have to do that. So yeah, and another highlight. Uh, this is something that actually caught my attention though. It was a session. It was a PT session, and the lady was doing PT on a lady's arm. The PT was doing PT on a lady's arm, and the the therapist, the physical therapist, told the lady, "All right, now we are going to do this with a straight arm." And now this is only going to make sense in Spanish, but I'm pretty sure there's equivalents in all languages of this. And my interpretation was ahora con el brazo derecho. Now, when I said that, my brain automatically said, with ahora con el brazo derecho, of course, it has two meanings to it. It can be translated as now with a straight arm, but the other meaning of that can be now with the right arm. So I just thought about that for a while, and I thought I mean, even though it's correct, I thought to myself, well, what if um, I could like think ahead of time, like for interpretations, for example, like straight arm, like for example, there's in English, right, right and right, like right, you're right, or go to the right. So it's like it's like the same thing. So what I was thinking is that they're like I should like think ahead, right? Of course, I don't do it, and it's very hard. And this is something that I just started thinking today. That maybe like there's more precision in saying something that will not be confused, right? Because if I say ahora con el brazo derecho, now with a straight arm or now with a right arm, then the person is not really. If there's no context, the person's not really gonna know, right? And that's gonna create confusion. So it got me thinking that maybe there's other ways, and maybe that I should think ahead and use other words that won't create a confusion. For example, I could have said ahora con el brazo recto, ahora con el brazo extendido. That wouldn't create this confusion. Of course, the person was there with context, and I was able to see the person and everything, and there would not have been a confusion. But it just made me think that for future sessions, I'm really gonna keep that in mind, and I am going to try to avoid using words that have more than one meaning that could be misinterpreted. And that is just a personal choice. That is nothing for you to do. This is just something that I'm gonna work on. And you're gonna notice as an interpreter, like this is not an exact science, right? There's a lot of trial and error that goes here because we all have different personalities, different backgrounds, our brains are even arranged differently, right? So each of us is going to have to learn new strategies, and you're gonna be making strategies on the go. Like all of a sudden, your life is great, and you don't see the need to change or learn anything in your interpretation. Then you're gonna get blindsided. I'm sorry, by something that your whole thesis of how you should interpret is going to be. Um, it's going to be in conflict, right? That's not what I wanted to say, but I just couldn't think of the right word. Well, it's going to be, they're going to defy it, right? These situations are going to defy your strategies for interpreting. Like, for example, right now, what that happened, like, I want to avoid those situations. And this is just something normal that is going to happen through your career. And maybe 5 years from now, for me, even for me, when I started, I had many different ideas, but then it was the situations and all of the experiences that have actually made me have these strategies that I have now, right, for interpreting. And that is something that is good and that's normal, right? That's the process of learning because like I've said before, as an interpreter, you're never, 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 never gonna stop learning. And I honestly believe that there is not an interpreter that can actually not need a dictionary, right, or a translator at some point, because, like I said, language is just so complex. Language is just so rich. There's just so many depths into language, right? And well, this is just like the complexities of it. And this is just a sentence or a fragment of a sentence that has the exact same words, but it could mean different things. And us and interpreters, we have to know every one of those meanings. Um, and that's one of the things that makes it difficult. And it made me wonder that, of course, learning another language is going to be very difficult, or just like having a higher uh, language level in your own native language is also something that an interpreter really needs to have. And of course, it's difficult. It's difficult, and the only way that you're going to be better at this is if you actually expose yourself to this language. So, in order to get a more rich and complex language, you are going to have to read books that challenge your level, right? For example, if you're reading books at a high school level and you want to improve your language, now books at a high school level will also help, right? But if you actually read books like um, college text or things like that, things that are aimed at a much higher reading level, then of course you can expect to actually go ahead and see or learn many more languages and many meanings and many more languages. Learn many more aspects of your language, and you will learn more meanings of words that you already knew. And I'm always, this is one thing that I always do. If I don't learn a word and at that moment there's something that I can do to actually like look up the word, then believe me, man, I'm gonna be looking up that word. For example, if I am having a conversation with my wife and then she brings up this word I've never heard, I'll be like, hold on, I gotta look up that word. If I'm reading a book from college and there's many words that I don't know in those books, I always look them up, and then I have um, a knowledge and an understanding of those new words, and I can use them properly and correctly. And if I ever get them again, then I will know how to use them. Also, some complex words that some doctors use, and I'm not talking about medical language. I'm just talking about language in general. And yeah, sometimes they use some fancy words or fancy to me, which I've never heard them before, right? So yeah, I mean, this just made me think. that maybe I should figure out a way, or I should train myself to use words or interpretations that cannot have a different meaning than from the meaning that is conveyed. And of course, this is just the first day that I thought about this, so expect more online sessions from me in the future about this topic as I research more upon it and as I come up with my own strategies so that I can help some of you further develop these strategies if you wish. So that is going to be the highlights for today. And today I am going to answer a question from Chris Rodriguez, one of our viewers, which I told him I would be answering it last week. Of course, I didn't know I was going to have a nervous breakdown and I wasn't going to be doing sessions, right? But I am doing it now. And his question is, what's the best way to improve your memory? I have many troubles with my short-term memory. Please help. And yeah, like I answered you in the comments, and I let you know that there were other videos in the past that I've actually talked about this issue, and I am going to assume that you have already watched those other videos. Yesterday I had a little bit of time, so I actually went ahead and I neatly titled all of the videos now so that they're easy to find by topic. I try to do my best and to be as concise as possible, and I will suggest that you actually go ahead and look at the titles memory retention, note taking, and memory retention. There's one video named memory retention and another one note taking and memory retention, and there's a lot more videos on note taking, probably like two or three more. So yeah, go ahead and watch all of those. On the note taking videos, there's also good advice and good techniques for improving your memory retention. So having said that, I am going to go ahead and I am going to answer your question. Since I have already answered this question in the past in a more technical sense, like what I actually do and what has helped me to actually improve my short-term memory. Now, what I am going to do now, I am going to look at this from a more clinical standpoint, and I am going to go ahead and I am going to mention the an article from medicalnewstoday.com, and that article talks about 8 tips to go ahead and improve your memory retention. So I'm gonna go ahead and talk about uh, these suggestions or these tips, and I am going to compare them to what I've said that will help you in the previous videos. So that way you have the technical stuff for the other videos, and now you're having a look at what science or what medicine says about this topic. So yeah, let's get to it. And one of the things that this article mentioned, it was number one, and it said brain training. That was the number one. The article suggests that you should do some brain training at least 15 minutes a day, 5 days a week. Now, that's what the article says, and I am going to have to disagree with the article, and I am going to tell you that I think 15 minutes is too little. Um, you should, and of course, I'm not a doctor or anything. Who am I to challenge their views, right? But personally, I think that that is too little, and that you should actually be challenging your brain all of the time, not with familiar things, just trying to work up a new skill, trying to learn a new language, trying to learn a new way to work, anything that is new and can challenge your brain, right? Because if you're doing everything the same, for example, you walk to, you probably drive. You drive to work every day in the same way, and you're with the same people, and you do everything the same, then the brain is not going to be challenged, right? And you have to use your brain because the human mind and the human body is very smart. The human mind and the human body, from everything that I've learned, all of the literature and everyone that I've read that actually supports this, they tell you, right, that the body will only do what it needs to, right? Because it needs to conserve energy. So if it doesn't need to scan your surroundings, if it doesn't need to meet new people, if it doesn't need to take on new challenges, then your brain is just going to not be stimulated or anything, you know? It's going to have enough brain power and enough muscle and enough everything that it needs, right? But it's just going to be enough to cover those needs. So it really needs to be constantly challenged every single day. So 15 minutes is a good start, but don't think that 15 minutes is going to be enough. I would say like challenge it every day, the whole day. And if you're an interpreter, you're gonna be challenged. So that is something that is actually very good. So you're gonna be very challenged, but you're only going to be challenged in the language aspect of things, but you actually have to challenge it in everything else, you know? And I believe that that is going to really help you improve your memory retention, short and long term. Training, 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 and train in general. But go ahead and train for interpretation, right? That's what you're. That's why you notice that you have this problem, and that's what you're trying to improve upon. So go ahead and focus more on interpretation, like I said in the other videos. So that's number one, brain training. Number two says exercise. Now, the article doesn't say how much you should exercise or anything, but as a medical interpreter, I've heard that you have to exercise at least 30 minutes, 5 days a week. So if you can do that, go ahead and do that. I had a shoulder injury, so I did not work out for like about a year, but I am getting back into it. I was not working out this. I was getting back into it, then I had my nervous breakdown from college, and then I stopped. And I think I'm gonna go back to working out today. So yeah, I mean, I would really definitely encourage you to actually exercise at least 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week, and really work up cardio or whatever. Just or walking could be fine depending on your limitations, right? But if you can actually do like something that will get your heart rate up, I think that is the best, because I heard in a session once that uh, it makes your heart pump faster, right? So it makes your blood vessels dilate more. That way, your blood vessels will always be big enough to have enough blood flow through the brain, which is, uh, well, one of the most important organs, right? The most important according to the brain. Uh, but yeah, go ahead and exercise. I would say yes, definitely. So that's two things that literature says that I've mentioned. Meditation. Now, meditation, I don't meditate. I used to meditate. I've only reached the nirvana, I could say, once, and then somebody knocked on my door, and then I just lost it, and then all of my, like, it was like I was perfect. There was nothing going on. Then all of a sudden, somebody knocked on the door. I went to go open the door, and as soon as I opened the door, all of my problems started flowing in like bubbles and filling up my mind. It was very weird. I've never experienced that anymore. I do not meditate. I want to start meditating again. However, every once in a while, I do get into a corpse pose, but I don't meditate. I just sit there trying to empty my mind, and it doesn't happen. So yeah, meditate if you can. Definitely meditate. There's a lot of benefits to meditation, which I'm not gonna get into right now. Sleep. That was point number three. Sleep is point number four, which is also very important, and I've also mentioned why it is important in the audio videos. Of course, I don't always get a good amount to sleep, but I always get at least 7 hours of sleep. And sometimes I wake up after 7 hours and I cannot go back to sleep. So I know that if I sleep more than 7 hours, I'll be good for the day. If I sleep less than 7 hours, I don't know. So yeah, and number 5, reduce sugar. So reduce sugar, this is something that I've been trying to do for a very long time, and I do probably not eat that much sugar like Monday through Friday, but then the weekend comes, the kids, the wife, and well, things just start firing up those cravings, right? Your son wants some ice cream, and you gotta take a lick. I'm just kidding. Just buy your own ice cream, and then all of a sudden now you're eating lots of sugar, right? I don't drink soda. I don't drink sweet drinks. For the most part, I try to avoid sugar. I try to avoid dairy. I try to avoid grains and legumes. Yeah, try because it doesn't happen. And right now I'm living with my grandma, so I'm eating grandma's cooking, right? So yeah, you can see how hard it is to avoid all those things. But I do eat fruits and I do eat vegetables on each meal. That is one thing that I do, even though I eat my grandma's what did she make yesterday? She had, well, no, let me tell you what she's making right now. She's making cinnamon rolls, and you bet I'm gonna eat me some cinnamon rolls. So just try to do it the best that you can. Oh, and yesterday night I had a bowl of sugary cereal. So yeah, not 100%, but I do my best. Avoid high calorie diets. Everything's good until I reach the weekend. Because on the weekend, my wife really likes to try new restaurants, so we go and try new restaurants at least once a week. And yeah, so everything is good until I get to the weekend. But yeah, definitely. Whenever I do intermittent fasting and I don't eat dinner, I sleep better the next day. I am more energized and everything just flows better. But every once in a while, I do have some dinner and then everything just gets stepped up. Um, uh, I'm trying to hurry up because I want to make this video be less than 30 minutes because if not, I have to render it and it takes forever. So, okay, avoid high calorie diets and reduce the sugar. Increase caffeine, I definitely do. I drink coffee in the morning and I drink some green tea in my lunch. I started doing that because on the first video that I ever published on YouTube, I let you know that I was having problems staying awake in the middle from like after lunch. So I added some green tea and that makes me stay awake. And I think that according to this article, it actually helps my memory. So it's all great. And the last point that they mention is to eat dark chocolate. Now, I love dark chocolate, but I don't really eat dark chocolate because it has a lot of sugar. And what I eat instead is cacao nibs. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but that's just cacao. That's just like what they make chocolate with, but it has like all these nutrients and stuff. I think it even has caffeine in it. So that's very good. It's like grounded cacao, and then you could just eat it like peanuts. I actually took like cacao and peanuts, and then I would just throw them into my mouth. It's very good. So yeah, I haven't eaten them in a while, probably in like probably a little bit more than a year. So yeah, I mean those are all very good suggestions, very good tips, and except for medication and avoiding a high calorie diet and eating dark chocolate, I think everything else was also mentioned on my previous video. So yeah, I'm doing a pretty good job with that. And I believe you have to do it as well if you want to become a professional interpreter. That will really help you. So yeah, that was it. I hope this has helped you. If this did not help you, please go ahead and leave a comment if there's like some details that you actually want me to get more into and talk about of them, and I will happily answer, do some research so that I can answer what you meant. But I'm pretty sure this is what you meant. But if not, just give me a holler. So that's going to be pretty much it for me today. Please leave your questions in the comments and I will answer some of them on the next session. Remember, I'll be here every Monday through Friday after work. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you liked the video and have not done so for more content. And don't forget to share. Happy interpreting. Goodbye.